What's up, gang? Welcome back to the channel. Let's chat about confidence, man. This is something I've been thinking a lot of. This is something that I've personally struggled with over the past probably year or so. And it's just something I'm really becoming interested in. And I want to encourage us as men today when it comes to the topic of confidence. And I hope that this video shifts your perception a little bit. And by the end of it, gives you some permission to step into some more confidence. The reason I've become interested in this is because leading a men's group and just being involved in the men's development space, I look around and amongst the men that I'm surrounded with, myself included, I see very little confidence being displayed, and it's confusing to me. Especially as a man who's following God, who's pursuing God, pursuing a relationship with God. It's like, why are we not confident? It's like, why are we not confident? And I look at my journey and something really interesting unfolded. Before I was walking with God, I probably had a little bit too much confidence, arrogance. And as I began walking with God and pursuing a relationship with God, I feel like I lost all of my confidence, and I observed it, and as I reflect on that, of why that is, I feel like I've come to some conclusions. Number one, let's just explain this. God wants us to be confident. God wants us as His sons to be confident. He desires for the fruit on our tree to be love, peace, joy, self-control. I am unable to display authentic versions of love, peace, joy, all those things if I'm in a perpetual state of negativity towards myself. If I'm in a place of self-hatred, if my cup isn't full, if I'm not siding with God on how to feel about myself, and I'm just bathing in shame and bathing in guilt and not daring to live as a forgiven man, I'm not going to be confident. Confidence unlocks those fruits. So I want to start with that. But what I've realized is I've fallen into some traps. I've fallen into this trap of false humility, where it's like I start walking with God, I start pursuing a better, more righteous life, I start trying to be better in every area, and I quickly realize I'm not adding up. I'm messing up all the time. I'm being an asshole. I'm doing a bunch of things I don't want to do anymore. And that leads to me feeling inadequate and inferior and insecure and unworthy. And which just isn't the case. Number one, whoever I believe I am is who I will be. So if I believe I'm all those things, that's the fruit that is going to show up in my life, right? And in our life as men. So we need to be really careful to avoid this trap of false humility, which is beating myself down, thinking that humility is, bullying myself, telling myself I'm a piece of crap. When in reality, there's a quote, I think it's C.S. Lewis. He says, humility isn't thinking less of yourself, it's just thinking of yourself less. So it's focusing external, focusing on the needs and interests of other people and not just yourself. But something that's been really key for me to realize, and that's helped me a lot, is that I can be fully confident. I can be fully confident, 100% confident, yet 100% humble at the same time. And that's not something that I understood from the start, and it's something I wish that I understood earlier, is that I don't need to hide my light. I don't need to dim my light. I don't need to prevent myself from shining in the name of humility. Humility is that. It's thinking of yourself less, but it's also just coming into agreement with what is actually true. And what is actually true is who God says that I am, who God says that you are as a man. Humility is just coming into agreement with that. It's siding with God on how to feel about yourself. He says I'm forgiven. He says I'm clean. He says I'm beloved. He says I'm more than a conqueror. That's the place that He wants us to identify from, and the identity that He wants us to move and operate from. Not this... He doesn't want us shame bathing anymore, man. Like, we got to get out of that. No more shame bathing, bro. All bathing in our shame and just basking in it just seeps it deeper into our pores. We need to get out of this place of shame. There's permission for us to be confident as men. Even the word confident, confident, confide. What is confidence? It's confiding in God. It's confiding in what is true. There's nothing wrong with being confident, man. That's what I've had to realize. It's like, dude, there's full permission. God wants you to be confident. How much more confident should we be as men who know that we have God, as opposed to beforehand when we're living off all of our own strength, right? Confident is vital for every single area of our life. If we wish to thrive and we wish to live true and live out the full expression of who God designed us to be, confidence and self-esteem is a must. And Satan uses low self-esteem and condemnation and shame against us as men. It's his greatest tool to keep us in a cave, to keep us caged up, to keep us living in a place of lies, to prevent us from living out our full expression. So let's start with that, man. We have permission to be confident. God desires for you and I to be confident. We got to be kind to ourselves. How do we get there? It's like we need to have the same compassion, kindness, and gentleness towards ourselves that we do towards other people. Jesus said, love your enemy. What if you are your enemy sometimes? He says, how you treat the lowest among you is how you treat me. What if you're the lowest sometimes? How do you treat yourself? How do you speak to yourself? We need to start speaking to ourselves in a more positive, mature way. Our self-talk is key when it comes to unlocking confidence in our life and improving our self-esteem. Speak the things that God speaks about you over yourself. Come into agreement with them. Speak positively to yourself. Develop a healthy, respectful inner dialogue and narrative throughout your life. Whoever I believe I am, whoever you believe you are, whoever we believe we are is who we will be. So we need to speak positivity over ourselves. We need to feel permission to be confident. And don't get this twisted. What I'm not saying is be arrogant, be prideful. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like I said, we can be fully confident yet fully lowly and humble at the exact same time, both to the full measure. It's all about your heart. If I can be confident that my heart is on God, that I'm surrendered to Him, there's no reason that I can't live out my life in a place of confidence, in a place of joy, love, peace, and positivity. That's where we're designed to be. So let's get out of the shame, let's get out of the guilt, and feel permission to step into confidence. When you mess up, don't beat yourself down. Don't bathe in the shame. Simply just, Kyle, that was a mistake. Let's be better moving forward. Simple, positive, mature, respectful inner dialogue. Maintain your state of confidence. Maintain positive beliefs about yourself. If I'm not confident, I'm going to have no emotional resilience. I'm going to have no resilience in my life to push through when things get hard, to overcome obstacles, to be a conqueror. We need confidence. So that's the message of this video, man. I hope that this gives you permission to love and appreciate who God has made you individually, who He has made you to be. You and I, we're both individual poems of God. He calls us His poetry. We have permission to appreciate ourselves. We're the artwork of God. Hating myself is insulting God's artwork. Hating yourself is insulting God's artwork. There's permission, man. Don't be scared to be confident. Don't let anyone or anything dim your light. He wants us to be lights shining on a hill that cannot be hidden. How am I supposed to be that if I'm not confident? If I'm not confiding in Him and in the truth of what He says about me? Remember, humility is not beating yourself down. It's not calling yourself a piece of garbage. It's not bullying yourself. It's not thinking less of yourself. It's focusing on other people. It's realizing that you're not the center of the show, that you're not the main character or whatever people say in our culture nowadays. You are God's. You belong to Him. And there's an invitation to be all that He designed you to be. Humility is just agreeing with Him. It's siding with God on how you feel about you. It's me siding with God on how He feels about me when it comes to how I feel about myself. That's what humility is. It's just agreeing with what's true. What God says is true. I hope this helps. Hopes that provides you with some value. Subscribe for more. I freaking love you, man. Run wild. Let go of the shame. Stop comparing yourself. Stop competing with people. Realize that nobody can be you. You are individually, intricately created by God. Every leaf out in those woods is different. Why should we all be the same as people, man? Don't be scared to be yourself. Be weird. Be you. Be all that God created you to be. Let your passions flow. Less mind, more heart. Be confident, man. Confide in the truth. Don't beat yourself down. Dare to live as a forgiven man. Dare to agree with God on what he says about you. Dare to make that your identity. Dare to live from that place. I hope this helps you. If it did, drop a comment, like, subscribe, share it with a man in your life, pass this message on, help me grow the channel, and just help me spread this positivity around. The goal of all these videos is just to fight to see guys live free, to see people live free and thrive the way that we're designed. Much love. Peace.